Hello and welcome to The Nation. I'm ELANE NOOR. You're joining us today are NURASHIKIN ZAHARUDDIN, Festival Director of Walk the Dog, and Chris SCHUELER, Emmy Award-winning filmmaker. Now together, they bring us into the heart of the Walk the Dog Festival, a celebration of stories that walk the line between awareness, inspiration, and change. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Shikin.
Thank you, ELANE.
Thank you for joining us in the studio. Now, Shikin, I'm just going to start with you on this conversation. For those who may not have heard of it before, Walk the Dog, what is Walk the Dog Festival and how did it all begin?
It started in 2022. We wanted to create an event, a place where documentary lovers, documentary filmmakers, or people who just love factual content to come together and network and talk about things we truly love about. And we started in Langkawi. Then the whole reason is to get exposure, to talk about everything documentary. But generally, that was just it. It started like a really small idea, and we were very happy. We received a lot of good feedback, and we continued daily, and we start doing it. And here we are today, 2025, on our 4th year of Walk the Dog.
Now that's beautiful, and we have in our midst Chris. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. We are privileged to have in our midst, obviously, an Emmy Award-winning filmmaker.
No.
Come on. Now, as a filmmaker, of course, we wanted to understand, and a storyteller, what about Walk the Dog resonates with you personally and creatively?
Good question. I'm so, number one, I'm really happy to be here. Really excited they invited me to come, and I came last year. And what is really unique and special about this is that Shikin and her husband Raja believe in the power of storytelling and how important it is for a culture, for a country, and for the filmmakers to be able to express themselves in ways that will last forever and will maintain a cultural perspective forever. And they're important, and documentaries more and more are becoming this means to not only maintain culture, but to pass culture on to the next generation. I think this is so important. And so what they're doing in this particular film festival is just that, and they're very focused on that, and that's really wonderful.
And there's so many stories out there, out there that's worth telling, worth exploring, and that's really the interesting thing. And we do have a very different perspective from the youth perspective as well, not just because there's a lot of documentaries that may have been historically how people viewed it, but now there's a different lens, different way of presenting, different way of sharing, and that's very interesting to me because people have, technology allows us to be able to showcase differently. Now that must be interesting for both of you to be able to see that evolution. Tell me about that.
Everyone has the tools now, which is the beauty and the curse, right? I mean, anybody can create anything.
Yeah, me too. I may not be great at it, but I can.
Talking to a group of students a couple days ago, I said there were 50 students. How many of you are producers? And nobody raised their hand.
No.
And then I said, how many of you have a cell phone and have taken video and have edited the video? All of them raised their hand. Well, they're all producers, and they can all create these things, which now gives us this wonderful ability to capture things that we could never capture before. The idea of telling stories with those things that resonate with people, that can create change in a positive way, that can inform people. I think that's what the film festival is all about, and I think that's what documentary filmmaking is all about. And it's global. Certainly, it's global, and it's wonderful in that regard.
And it's beautiful because that's what social media has allowed people to be able to share their stories, and that's why it took off. It's because it served a need, and that's what we're also seeing with Walk the Dog. Now, this year marks the 4th edition of Walk the Dog, and the festival has seen incredible growth. I mean, like, we're talking about 80 attendees back in 2022 and over 300 this year. What do you think is driving this growth interest in documentary storytelling, Shikin?
Sometimes you meet people who has this passion of documentary filmmaking, and most of them, when we meet, they feel quite alone. They feel like, am I the only one who's interested to talking about butterflies, or am I the only one who's interested to talk about certain particular traditional dance? So when you get to meet like-minded people who loves and share the same thing that you do. So you kind of like feel much more motivated. So the other thing, it's more of like getting inspired and where can you watch these films. So that's the two part of it. Sometimes you can produce it, but you have no idea where can you actually watch it, especially in Malaysia. Where can we watch documentaries? And leading up to the part you were saying, everybody actually film their everyday life, which is documenting their everyday life. You know, what they do in the wake up in the morning, what they eat for breakfast. You know, so it's pretty much, you know, a documentary in itself. So I guess the thing is producing a documentary, producing a story, or I would like to call it like, you know, non-fiction storytelling, and having the audience where for them to actually watch what you have produced. And I think that's more important. So that's why we started it, and that's how actually why Walkabout Asia came across, to have a single place platform where people who love factual storytelling could come and enjoy documentaries, or you know, micro documentaries also, because right now it doesn't necessarily to be featured 1 hour. It can be anything between 3 to 15 minutes, and then that's how we create and make it, you know, expose awareness.
I love the way she describes factual storytelling, and it's this wonderful way, and we are all doing it whether we know it or not. And the question becomes, can we do it in a way that's powerful? Can we do it in a way that's both truthful and honest? And then documentary storytellers, I love this phrase, I'm going to use it in my talk in a couple days. Documentary storytellers become the hosts of history. And it's so true, and it's so important to have that as a skill, so that you can not only see what's happened in the past, but we can contain now and what will be happening in the future. It's really a wonderful thing. Do you watch you here at the station? You show documentaries, right?
Yes, we do.
And journalists want to do documentaries. I'm sure some of your journalists are doing documentaries as we speak, and it's a wonderful form.
It is. It is beautiful, because I think a lot of things, a lot of learnings can be gotten from just watching documentaries. It's not just, you know, presenting facts. It's in between those lines. What is the story? What's the message that you're sharing as well? And I think the last time we had this conversation with you, it's about knowing how to sort of communicate that message. And that's what you spoke about, Chris, about that message, about that impact, and about how it's going to be relevant to the people that are watching out there. And I love how you talked about, you know, yes, we all do it. We document our lives. And, you know, with social media, everybody learned it without really knowing that that's what they're doing, or calling it, what did you call it? Factual storytelling. Factual storytelling.
Is wonderful. And living in now, I think today, and we've seen it change. You've seen it change since you've been here. We've become an attention economy.
Yes, that's correct.
We have become an attention economy. And if we can't grab people, as I'm teaching documentary skills, the beginning of the documentary is so important. Because online now, we all get our news from our feeds, and we all get our news from TikTok and these places. But within 3 seconds, we make a decision whether we're going to continue to watch. Within 8 seconds, we're on to the next piece.
Correct.
And so as a result of that, the skill of these documentary filmmakers in this festival is so wonderful to see them grab people. And you mentioned facts. It's interesting, because the facts won't necessarily grab the people.
Correct.
It's the story. It's the heart. It's a story about someone or something. You think of your favorite narrative film. It's the story that you watch for the person. And that's the beauty of these things.
And it's how you're able to hook, and how you're able to be tell that story compellingly, so that, like you said, this attention stays with you beyond 3 seconds.
Yes, that's right.
Up to hopefully 3 minutes.
Yes, or
so
10.
It'll be good. I guess a good time to say that you know, we get to learn all of this at the festival, because Chris has kind of like a masterclass during the festival about building impactful stories.
How you build it, because there's a structure to it. Everybody does it, but nobody quite knows how it works or why they get the likes or the views or the clicks.
Yes, exactly.
So there's ways and there's methods to make that happen. And so we're going to be going all over that in the and I did this last year, and now it's so much fun to come back and do this and work with up-and-coming filmmakers, new filmmakers, filmmakers who are professionals. You can see some of them. Their films are tremendous. We're going to be viewing all those Wednesday through Friday. And I understand you're going to maybe have them here. Are you having them here?
Yeah, so for this, under the Small Story Big Impact program. Right? So because Chris was one of the mentors for last year's Small Story Big Impact program.
Yeah.
So yeah, these documentaries, we have young upcoming filmmakers, and they will be here in Bernama. I don't know, maybe a couple of months' time.
That's amazing. I mean, we talked about sort of that masterclass. It's about how everybody wants to find that sort of like secret to that virality in order for it to be able to break sort of that monotony and get that millions of views, right? So that's learning those skills. And as you mentioned, that's happening at Baba House itself, 5 to 7 of November. You have that masterclass. Now, I want to talk about, at the heart of the festival, we're talking about culture. And culture is very important in order for us to be able to, you know, we need to know where we came from in order to understand where we are and how do we move forward in that sense. So culture is the main theme of Walk the Dog for this year's Walk the Dog 2025, which is also going to be held at Baba House in Malacca. It's a beautiful place, Baba House, you know, a heritage site rich in history in itself. What inspired this cultural focus, if you don't mind letting us know, and how does the choice of location reflect and enhance the festival direction and storytelling for this year?
First of all, we, as an umbrella theme, Walk the Dog champions culture, nature, environment, also travel. But we have culture as one of our broader main theme, because we believe that, you know, in today's age, time, culture relates a lot to identity, and also learning about ourselves and also learning about our neighbors helps us to understand, and you know, it kind of bridge the kind of relationship that we need with all these people around us. Malacca, as you know, is Malaysian historical city. I think it's the best. It's just a no-brainer for us to choose Malacca, and of course we choose it at Baba House. It's like in the heart of Jonker Street. We have a lot of international delegates coming, and I believe that will be a best place for them to also learn about the history of our country. So I think it was just a simple decision.
Straightforward, beautiful decision. Now, Chris, from your experience, how does culture influence the way stories are told and how audience connect with them?
I think that's the whole ball game. Excellent question. I think culture is an idea of where we've been, where we will be going, and how we have lived. And documentaries allow us to see that visually, to hear that, to tell particular stories in particular ways that will grab people by the heart and remind them of things they may have forgotten, things maybe their grandparents knew or their great-great-great-grandparents knew, and are still going on today in some instances. But how wonderful that young people are interested in doing that. I think that's a really good thing. And because this tool that we all have now in our pocket, this cell phone of some sort, is an entire studio, they can watch them there. Which, I'll tell you one little secret that we'll be talking about during the master class, because people are going to be watching on this size screen, you have to shoot remembering that.
Right.
We have to tell stories visually, but it's ways that if it's that small, you've got to be close. You've got to be the tight shots. You've got to be in there, and that's the way it has to be. And all your photographers do that. They shoot that now, but this will be online, right? This will be, our program will be online. People will be watching it on their cell phones or on their computers, but they're small screens now. So we have to remember all those things as I got off topic. I didn't answer your question.
No, it's fine. No, I want to touch on that.
I get excited about
it. It's amazing. I love that you brought into focus understanding your audience, understanding where your content is viewed, and how your story becomes more impactful and effective if you do make sure that you understand how that's being consumed by by the people that you want to be able to watch. And like you said, this is the media that's constantly with you, and anytime it's going to be that main sort of platform that people are going to be able to consume it. Now, if I move on to Walk the Dog being held at the Baba House, and let's talk about, apart from film screenings, because I know there are film screenings that are going to be there. What are the highlights can attendees look forward to, such as, I know you mentioned about the masterclass, workshop, talks, or cultural showcases that they can look forward to?
Yes, so at the festival, we have, like you've mentioned, we have our masterclasses. We are very lucky. We have Chris come all over from America to have his keynote speech, and also with masterclass. We also have Mr. Yun Fei from CGTN China and Miss Natalia from RT Doc. So really good masterclasses, and we have a whole list of documentaries, and all of it are related to culture. We have a good collaboration with Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, and the kind of theme that we're having is finding strength in culture and traditions. So you'll be able to watch about 11 documentaries throughout a lot of countries, namely China, Korea, Iran, Turkey, Indonesia, among few. Other than that, we also have the Small Story Big Impact premiere screening. So there's a lot of documentary screening, but we also have all the filmmakers around to discuss afterward what's happening, and how these young filmmakers are producing. And of course, we will end it with closing ceremony, and we're going to be launching Walkabout Asia's flagship program. It's called Tribal Kitchen. So that's also going to be happening at the end of the festival. So everybody who registered are all invited, as long as you're registered.
Don't forget to register on that note then. I like what you talked about in terms of the programming, and I want to touch on sharing, and sharing is so important and as part of that whole learning process. And I wanted to be able to, like, ask Chris with regards to your global experience. I mean, we'd like to be able to at least tap on it, be able to share with the participants and even with our viewers here with regards to that. Now, from your global perspective as a storyteller, and you've been doing this for a long time, what makes festivals like Walk the Dog important for nurturing that meaningful and diverse voices? Because it is that the allowing people to be able to express this is what it is for Walk the Dog. And what role do you see documentary films playing in promoting understanding, empathy, and appreciation for different cultures? Because in a world where there's so much strife going on in the world, how can we make that difference?
Yes, and I think documentaries play an integral role in that sense. Documentaries, as I mentioned before, grab you by the heart. And if you tell those stories, and if the story is from Malaysia, and young people see it in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I'm from, or in New York, or in Los Angeles, or in Bogota, Colombia, they will see it, they will relate to it, and we have young people and students now all over the world creating documentaries, which is part of my talk in the keynote. Is why now? Why are documentaries so important now? It is the perfect time in history, because we now, this program can be seen by my friends anywhere in the world, right now, on the moment. And these documentaries, when they're posted, wherever they're posted, have the ability to reach in places that they've never been able to reach before. So this is the ideal time in history to have these documentaries go out. And the second thing is, because they last forever, everything lasts forever. I'm glad cell phones weren't around when I was, a high school kid or a college kid.
Evidence.
There's no evidence. But now those things last forever, and as a result of that, the ripple effect of these things lasting forever is wonderful. And I just noticed it. I did a film. I cover all the happy topics: domestic violence, alcohol addiction, vaping, all these tough things. But one of them we did on vaping, as an example. The good, the bad, how it all works. It was done 6 years ago. It's still being used in schools all over America. 2 weeks ago, I was in Texas at Texas A&M University. They had an outdoor screening for their entire student population. This documentary from 6 years ago. The ripples go on and on and on. And that's wonderful. That's spectacular. They last.
Yeah, I mean, that documentary, that's why they call it long tail. But right now, what I would like to tap into that is that when you use the word documentary, sometimes people get scared because it appears very serious.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you
No,
have
you're
happy
right.
topics.
You're right. No.
It feels heavy.
Yeah.
It feels serious, but today, when we introduce short micro documentaries, something between 5 to 7, is how we are introducing in Small Story Big Impact. It's how we can tell stories in short duration and yet still making good big impact. And this could hopefully encourage people to continue and watch them. As you said, in a much more smaller lens, which you carry on your phone. It's no longer this, lean back on the television, watching an hour feature, which is still here, but the way that people are consuming it, having it short micro documentaries also nowadays, I would say that a way to reach our audience.
And you don't need $20 million.
Thank God.
Exactly.
No, it's wonderful. Universities all over the world are realizing you can train young people. If they want to do narrative films, that's great. But you can train them. I judge the Cannes Festival every year. I judge the New York Film Festival every year. Beautiful pieces. A couple years ago, young woman, 23 years old, won the documentary, shooting it all on her iPhone, editing it at home on their Mac computer.
Yep.
She did a beautiful piece. And the other thing, and I think you mentioned it, the small stories, big impact, the short videos, that's producible.
Yeah.
If you have a story you want to tell, you can do that. You don't have to spend 3 or 4 years and $20 million.
Exactly.
You can do it in a couple months, for goodness sake. And they do it. With the Small Stories, Big Impact, they do it in what, a month and a half, 2 months?
Yes.
It's incredible.
And it goes back to what you were saying earlier, which is about capturing that attention economy, understanding that that's the value that you want to be able to put forward. You don't need $20 million, you don't need 1 year or 6 months to be able to produce this when you understand what you want to put forward and you focus on it. And the attention span is very short these days. If you were to put something that's too large, and like you said, it puts people off and they're afraid it's too much, but they want bite-sized information. Once they can consume more and more, and then they go on that journey with you on Walk the Dog as well.
That's true. You know what scares me and what's good about this? The attention span, according to statistics, 15 years ago was 2 minutes and 30 seconds for a single screen. This year, the attention span, at least in the United States, it's probably shorter, 45 seconds.
Oh, wow.
That's the average attention span of somebody looking at a screen. 45 seconds.
It's going to keep shrinking.
Yes.
Now, I'm aware of our time constraint. Chris, I wanted your advice. What would you give to aspiring filmmakers who want to tell authentic, culture-driven stories that inspire and connect people, knowing that culture evolves,
Yes. Do it.
Do it.
Do it. No, it's
Just do it.
there will be. First of all, love what you're doing. Pick something that you love and are passionate about. That's number one, because there's going to be roadblocks all along the way.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the passion, you won't finish. It's hard to finish.
Yes.
And the second thing is, do it. You've got the tools now. Every one of us has the tools. So start. Just start. And see where you go with it.
Because there's so many distractions along the way. Isn't
Yes,
it?
you have to start. You have to finish, and you can.
And you can, and it's completely, because as is evidenced by Walk the Dog, Shikin, how can people attend or participate in Walk the Dog 2025, and whether they are filmmakers, students, or simply an audience eager for that sort of next bite of factual storytelling?
Everybody is welcome, of course, but we do have limited seats. I think that our registration is still open. You could just go to walkthedog.com and have it registered. It's all free. To attend, you get to meet Chris live. You get to hear his keynote speech, opening keynote speech, together with his masterclass, of course, all with other master classes, and definitely all our other documentary screenings. So I think it'll be a good place for us to sit down, enjoy like 3 days non-stop documentaries and
Collaborate, talk, get
network.
ideas. It's good to have a community. You've got to have that energy.
No, it's beautiful. And for those out there who are still on the fence, no longer, go and register, go and experience, and just as Chris said, do it. That simple sort of phrase, do it. You want something, go grab it. And that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Shikin, for your time here. The Walk the Dog Festival has grown into more than just a celebration of films. It's a movement, a platform where storytelling meets social impact, bringing together filmmakers, change makers, young voices, educators, travelers, and future cultural leaders. Now be part of this journey. Discover stories that truly make a difference. I'm ELANE. This has been The Nation. Thanks for watching and follow us for more in-depth conversations that matter. Thanks. Bye for now. Thank you so much.